हाय गाइस, वेलकम टू अवर यूट्यूब चैनल एमबीए पाठशाला। तो एमबीए पाठशाला ने आप लोगों की स्पीड बूस्ट करने के लिए, आपकी टेस्ट टेकिंग एबिलिटी को इंप्रूव करने के लिए एक फ्री डेली क्विज का इनिशिएटिव लिया है, जिसको आप लोग हमारे पोर्टल पर www.mbapathshala.com पर जाकर हमारा जो फ्री कोर्सेज का सेक्शन है, कैट 2026 फ्री प्रिपरेशन एक कोर्स है, उसमें एनरोल करके आप डेली बेसिस पर एक फ्री क्विज लगा सकते हो। ये क्विजेज आप लोगों के एग्जाम यानी कि कैट 2026 तक हम लोग प्रोवाइड कराने वाले हैं। हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल पर इसका एनालिसिस मिलेगा, क्विज रहेगी हमारे पोर्टल पर।
Hello students, I'm Hitesh and welcome to another session of Daily Dose. Today we are going to solve a DI caselet, slightly calculation based, which is exact replica of CAT 2025 set. I hope you have tried and solved this set in detail. There are 5 countries, they are engaging in trade. When let us say US buys something from India, India has to pay certain percentage of tariff. So how is tariff calculated? Whatever India sends to US, let us say India sends 100 million worth of goods. So India will have to pay 20% tariff on that. If let us say Japan is sending 20 million worth of goods to India, India will be charging Japan 40% on that amount. That is what the sentence says. 5 countries engage in trade with each other. Each country levies import tariffs on other countries. The import tariff levied by country X on country Y is calculated by multiplying the corresponding tariff percentage into total tariff of the country. Total tariff or total import into percentage tariff is equal to tariff amount. Just I explained that. Import tariff levied by country X on country Y is calculated as tariff value in billion USD. All of this is billion. All of this is in billion USD. Tariff percentage multiplied by import. Same thing which is said here has been written here in equations. Imports to a country from partner country equal to exports from that country to partner country. So let us say India sends 100 billion worth of goods to US. For US that is import. For India that is export. That is what is said here. Imports to a country from a partner country equal to exports. Whatever is import for US is export for India. We know these basic terminologies. Trade surplus is equal to total export minus total imports. So let us say India sends or US sends, let us say, $120 billion worth of good to India. So for US, trade surplus is 120 billion minus 100 billion. So trade surplus is 20 billion. If it was reverse, if US was sending 80 billion worth of goods to India, so surplus will be negative. That is called trade deficit. This is basic understanding of the information given to us. This is percentage tariff collected. Table 1 represents tariff percentage charged by importing country. These are importing countries from exporting country. These are exporting countries. So India is sending goods to US and US is charging 20%. US is sending goods to China and China is charging 15%. This basic understanding is needed at the start. The import tariff in billion USD charged by each country and other countries. So see US is dark blue. Will US charge itself any tariff? No. So that is 0. Now when talking about India, US has charged India 10 billion in tariff. China, look at this. US is charging China 25 billion in tariff. How to read the graph? I'm trying to show you. This is India. This is India. So India is charging US $10 billion in tariffs. India is charging itself nothing. Why will India charge itself any tariff? India is charging China 25 billion in tariff. One major hurdle in solving this particular set is understanding the graph. What kind of questions do we have? China's total export, total of import export between two countries, trade surplus or trade deficit between India and Germany, largest overall deficit between countries. If US did something, these questions take time because you are introducing a new data there. So first thing I need to keep in mind is to solve this, I need to again form a table like this. In that, rather than writing percentage, I will write the amount of trade happening. I'll show you how. Once you read the question, you should be able to reach this conclusion that you need a table like this. US is not going to import anything from itself. So first column should be 0. Now listen to this. This is US. US is dark blue. US is dark blue. US is charging India 10 billion tariff. US is charging India 20% tariff. So in my mind, I can say 20% is equal to 10 billion. I don't need to write 20% is equal to 10 billion. So 100% is 5 times, so 50 billion. So US is getting imports from India worth 50 billion. We need to complete this kind of table. Let us come to this. US is taking 25 billion in tariff from China. What is the percentage they are charging? US is charging 25% tariff. Look at this. 25 percentage is equal to 25 billion. So can I say 100 percentage will be 100 billion? What that means is China is sending 100 billion worth of goods to USA, or USA is taking or importing 100 billion worth of goods from China. Now here, look at this. US takes what? US takes 12 billion in tariffs. What is that? 30%. Look at this. 30% is 12. So can I say 10% is equal to 4 billion? So 100% is equal to 40 billion. So US takes 40 billion as tariff, or US imports 40 billion worth of goods. Tariff is 12 billion. How much does US charge Germany? 6 billion, which is 10%. So if 10% is 6 billion, 100% should be 60 billion. So in this manner, we need to complete the whole table. Now let us come to India. Look at this. US. India is this one. India charges 10 billion tariff to US. And how much is India charging? 25%. So in your mind, 25% is 10 billion. So 4 times. 100% is 40 billion. So India imports 40 billion worth of goods from USA. India is not charging itself any tariff. Now, India charges 24 billion tariff to China. 24 billion, which is 30%. Which is 30%. So 30% is 20 billion. If I cancel 3, 10% is 8 billion. So 100% must be 80 billion. This is 0. India imports from China 80 billion worth of goods. The horizontal lines are imports. India imports 80 billion from China. Now look at this Japan. India is charging them 12 billion in tariffs. And what tariff percentage does India charge? India charges 40% tariff. So if 40% is 12, if I cancel 4, 10% is equal to 3 billion. I cancel 4. So 100% is equal to 30 billion. So India imports 30 billion worth of goods from Japan. Germany, look at this. 10. India is charging Germany 10 billion tariff, which is 50%. So 100% should be 20 billion. So the horizontal line represents how much import India has done. In this manner, once we complete the entire table, out of 5, we will definitely have 3 to 4 answers. So the only time taking task is completing the table. I could have raised the bar of this set by applying exchange rates. Exchange rates or value of rupee against dollar would have been fun to watch. Now we are at China. China is this light green. So look at this. China is doing what? Charging US $9 billion, which is 15%. So 15% is 9 billion. If I cancel, let us say 3. So 5% is equal to 3 billion. 100% is 20 times 60 billion. So China imports 60 billion worth of goods from US. China and India, see, China is charging India 6 billion in tariffs, which is 20%. 20% is 6 billion. So 5 times 100%. 30 billion. Some mental maths. China cannot charge itself any tariff. Now Japan, they are charging 5 billion in tariff. That 5 billion is 10%. How can I get 100%? Make it 10 times, make it 10 times. So 50 billion imports from Japan. Now look at this. Germany, they are charging 10 billion. China is charging Germany 10 billion, which is 25%. How can I make it 100%? Make it 4 times. What is 4 times? 40 billion. So these are imports done by China. Japan, let us go to Japan. Japan is the purple kind of color. US, they are charging 6 billion, which is 20%. So 5 times 100%, 5 times of this 30. Now be careful. India, they are charging 7 billion. Look at this, 7 billion, which is 35%. 35%. Cancel 1, cancel 5. So 5% is equal to 1 billion. So 100% is 20 times, which is 20 billion. So Japan imports 20 billion worth of goods from India. China, they are charging 9 billion. 9 billion is 15%. Same thing, look at this. 15% is 9 billion. 15% is 9 billion. So 100% is 60 billion. Let me recheck the calculation. 5, 3 billion, 20. That is correct. Yes. Now, how much Japan cannot charge itself? 0. How much are they charging Germany? Germany, they are charging 9 billion. So 30% is equal to 9 billion. 10% is equal to 3 billion. 100% is equal to 30 billion. Now, the last country remaining is Germany. Once we are done with that, we'll move towards answers. This rough work mostly you can do with mental calculation. Germany is charging US 12% and Germany is charging US 6. So 12 percentage is 6, 2 percentage is 1 billion, 100 percentage is 50 billion. So 50 billion worth of goods were imported by Germany from US of A. Now Germany is charging India 6 billion, which is 24%. 24% is 6 billion. So 1 billion is 4%. How can I make it 100? Make it 25 times 100%. So Germany imports 25 billion worth of goods from India. Germany and China, look at this, 12 billion. 16 percentage is equal to 12 billion. If I cancel 4, 4 percentage is equal to 3 billion. Make it 25, so it becomes 100 percentage. Make it 25, it becomes 75 billion. Japan, they are charging 4 billion. 20 percentage is 4 billion. So 5 times is 100 percentage, 20 billion. So now I know the table that horizontal value represents how much is the country importing. If I want to think reverse, see if I add all of these, this is 100, 200, 250. USA imports 250 crore worth of goods. How much does US export? Let me show you. Horizontal is what they are importing. So vertical will be what they are exporting. Let me just clean this up. So if I want to know what is the total amount of export done by US, so I'll be adding these 40 and 40 and 60, 100, 180. 180 billion export is done by US. This is export of the country and this is import of the country. You can add all of these and add one more row and one more column. This is the kind of outcome we will have. How much are China's total exports to other 4 countries? Understand exports. I'm supposed to add this, this, and this. This is 180 and this is 135. 180 and 135 is 315 billion. That is what China is sending abroad. China's export. Exports are vertical line, horizontal are imports. Match these values in the table with what we have calculated earlier. I hope everything matches. Now you can answer these questions in hardly one minute each. Which of the following country pair shares highest total volume of trade, sum of im- mutually exchange imports and exports? So if I talk about US and India, see, this is the trade between US and India. India sends something, US sends something, the total trade is 90 billion. India and China, this is India and China, and this is China and India, 110. Mutual trade, import as well as exports. Japan and China, this is Japan buying from China, and this is China buying from Japan, that is 110. Now let us apply logic. Let us not solve further. These two are equal. They cannot be highest. This is definitely not highest because 110 is more. So this has to be the answer. Common sense. US buys 100 billion worth of goods from China and China buys 60 billion worth of goods from US. So total is 160. This is the highest mutual trade, and this might actually be true in the world as well. Highest amount of trade that is happening between two countries is US and China. Different kinds of governances. What is the trade status of India specifically with Germany? So India and Germany, see, Germany buys from India 25 billion worth of goods and India buys 20 billion. India buys less. So India is in surplus. India is in surplus of 5 billion worth of goods. Which country has the largest total trade deficit considering its combined trade with all countries? Very good. So I'm supposed to add all the vertical columns and see which has the highest trade deficit. You can apply common sense in real life. Which country has the highest trade deficit? You'll have the answer. 180. This is 180. So this is what America exports. This is what they import. So they have a trade deficit of 70 billion. I'm looking for deficit. I don't want surplus. If we talk about India, India purchases 170 billion worth of goods, 50, 30, 80, 100, 125. 125 and 170, the difference between both is 45. India has a 45 billion worth of trade deficit. Germany is one option. Germany here, Germany. Germany is importing 170 billion, 80, 120, 120 and 30, 150. So Germany has a deficit of 20 billion. Japan purchases goods worth 140. They buy $140 billion worth of goods. How much do they export? 70, 70 and 70, 140. Yeah. So 140, 140, they have zero trade deficit. Which country has the highest trade deficit? US of which might also be true in real life as well. Answer option C. If US decides to double its import tariff percentage on goods from Japan while the underlying volume of imports remain the same, what will be the new total import tariff collected by US from all countries? Acha. This question is not about the total import, it's about import tariff. Let us go back to the original graph. This is blue one is US. Blue one is US. How much is US collecting from India? 10 billion. From China, US is collecting 25 billion. From Japan, I'll keep it aside, 12 billion. And they are collecting 6 billion from Germany. So 10, 25, 6 and 12. 10, 25, 6 and 12. Listen to this. Listen to this carefully. US decide to double its import tariff. Whatever percentage they were charging, let us say they were charging 5% to Japan. Now they will be charging 10%. But the volume is still same. They are not changing the amount of imports. The volume is same. So can I say because you're doubling the percentage, you will get the double tariff also only from Japan. So from Japan, they are expecting 24 billion in tariff. So what should be the addition? This is 30, 55, 10, 65. So US expects $65 billion in tariff if they double tariff from Japan alone. So I hope you enjoyed solving this set and learned a few new tricks. I'll see you in the next session.